we first wanted to just kind of set the idea of what we're doing, kind of set the intention of what we're doing, and all gathering together to honor our uncle and our brother and Uncle Fred. And so we want to welcome everyone and then just state that we are today celebrating our brother and our uncle. This is Pete. So Uncle Fred went by Pete for most of his childhood, and his close friends called him Pete. His name was Frederick Peter. He was born to Rose and Frederick Abade in Everett, Massachusetts. He's celebrated, and I know we can all attest to this, for his enthusiasm, his zeal, and his wholeheartedness. Certainly his childlike demeanor, which I relate to, I connected with. It lit up every room he entered. And even in the midst of a jab, he also shared his deep understanding and knowledge, his wisdom, and his compassion.
Jesus said, "Peace I leave you, my peace I give you. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." John 14:27.
So this is his whole family who loves him, including us here who are recognized. Of course, he's remembered by his wife, Susan Abade, and his mother, Rose Abade. He's also remembered by us here. And of course, he's fondly remembered by his family up in New England and all around. They're all listed here, and they're all shared in his love. So I want to share a story. I found this story, and I think it speaks really well to Uncle Fred. He loved trains, and I love trains, and he loved model trains. And most of my best memories with Uncle Fred had to do with trains. So this photo is from when we went to North Conway on a family reunion, and on the North Conway Scenic Railroad. And this story is called The Train of Life. At birth, we board the train and meet our parents, and we believe they will always travel by our side. As time goes by, other people will board the train, and they will be significant. They'll be our siblings, our friends, our children, and even the love of your life. However, at some station, our parents will step down, or our uncle will step down from the train, leaving us on the journey alone. Others will step down over time and leave a permanent vacuum. Some, however, will go so unnoticed that we don't even realize they vacated their seats. This train ride will be full of joy, sorrow, fantasy, expectations, hellos, goodbyes, and farewells. Success consists of having a good relationship with all the passengers, requiring that we give the best of ourselves. The mystery to everyone is, we do not know at which station we ourselves will step down. So we must live in the best way, love, forgive, and offer the best of who we are. It is important to do this because when the time comes for us to step down and leave our seat empty, we should leave behind beautiful memories for those who will continue to travel on the train of life.
Beautiful.
This is another story, and this one's going to be shared by Grandma, and it's called His Journey's Just Begun.
His journey's just begun. Do not think of him as gone away. His journey's just begun. Life holds so many facets. This earth is only one. Just think of him as resting from the sorrows and the tears, in a place of warmth and comfort where there are no days or years. Think how he must be wishing that we could know today how nothing but our sadness can really pass away. And think of him as living in the hearts of those he touched. But nothing loved is ever lost. Oh, dear Fred, you are loved so much.
Nice, Grandma.
Really nice. So I propose that we share a toast to Uncle Fred. And if you have a drink handy, then we'll share a toast.
Yeah.
To live in the hearts we leave behind is not to die. Cheers.
Cheers, Fred.
Cheers.
So, with that, I have some photos that I want to share as we tell stories, and just open it up to anyone who wants to share, a story or a funny thing or anything. From here, it's just kind of open, and I'll go through some of the photos.
One of my sweetest memories of Fred is how he loved me so unconditionally from the very first day I met him. At David and Lena's wedding, I came down through the hotel doors as we met to get the Uber over to the wedding. Fred seriously looked at me and said, "Wow, Di, you look so beautiful." He made me feel more beautiful than anyone I've ever heard. And it was real and sincere. He loved me so much, and he will stay with me forever.
That's the day we took the goober home.
This is my favorite photo in this whole thing.
This is Uncle
That's
Fred
it.
and I in Maine.
In Maine, yeah.
Yeah. We went up there for the day and we walked along the beach. It was freezing cold. And I bought a Boston Red Sox sweatshirt there. And we had lobster and stuff at this little place. There was these beautiful little cottages on the cliff. And we always talked about how we would go up there and rent one of those cottages and look over the cliffs every morning. It was a nice memory. Now, does everyone familiar who this picture is of? This is Fred and his brothers at a party. This is his brother Dennis in the wheelchair. And there's his brother Joey next to him. And his brother David, who lives with Mrs. Zabaid right now. I've had lots of time with David. He's just the sweetest man in the world. They all loved each other so deeply.
Lisa, you want to share this story? Whatever's happening there.
I don't think he ever let me drink out of the bottle, but
No, you were like 12.
the margaritas that you poured the bottle into, and I had a big old spoon, and I was eating it out.
This was a different reunion.
This was when him and Ani Sue took me to get my belly button pierced, and Dad got so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Once again, the top left is Mrs. Abaid and her boys, along with her daughter-in-law, Linda. And the bottom left is when they all came down to see me at Alma Nove. These cousins are on Nana's side of the family. So there's Ani Sue, me, Brenda, Anne Marie, Brenda's husband, Bob, and of course, Uncle Fred. These are some of Uncle Fred's pictures. There's his family. They always took a picture around Christmas time together. And
Who
then
all's there? So it's
from left to right, you have Fred, Sue, tucked in there. It looks like Taya and Haley and maybe, Lissy.
Lissy's on the bottom and Emily's behind.
Oh, yeah,
her,
Lissy's
then
on the bottom.
Joshua, then Autumn, and then Taya's up front, the
Yep.
other Taya.
Taya's married to Zachary.
And then Ashley's behind the glass. And then Steve's girls are next to Ashley.
I don't even know if it's Christmas. They all look like they're dressed for summer. And then, of course, Uncle Fred with his two girls, Alia and Stacy. Stacy's on the left, Alia's on the right. Uncle Fred used to always call Alia his mini-me. And this is Uncle Fred. Now, Lisa, the picture on the right is not long after that, believe that's Emily in his arms, Rusty and Jody's little girl, Emily, who's all grown up now. And I think that's the picture where not long after that, Auntie Barbara was feeding you tequila out of a bucket. And
out of a bucket or out of a Dunkin' Donuts cup?
No, it was a bucket of margarita mix. And of course, this on the left is Fred's beautiful mother, Rose. She's just the most beautiful person in the world.
I remember when I stayed up there, we would go to work, and no matter what, every single day we would go by her house, no matter what.
Every day of his life.
Every day, and on
I'm
weekends
sure.
we'd go over there for dinner too. And it was the best food you ever had, ever. It was amazing.
She cooked us dinner. She's 92 years old, and she cooked me dinner, all of us dinner, one night when I was up there a year ago, February. And she called over because we were like 2 minutes late than we should have been. But what a beautiful woman.
My favorite part of this picture is right in the back is Lisa's sneaking into it, which is an Uncle Fred thing to do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Fred. At least doing that, but that's a Fred thing to do.
That's right. See if this memory's real or if I made it up. But one time, I think it was at their wedding, which I remember. That's like the first. I told Lena this the other night. I think their wedding is like the first memory I really have that like solidified. I remember them riding away on the motorcycle, and it was at the American Legion. But I think there was a party, and Stacy and Alia were our babysitters for me and Lisa. So we weren't allowed to go to the party. Is that true?
I think that was when Papa passed away, honey.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
We probably turned it into a party afterwards, but I think that was when Papa passed away.
okay. How do we make this work? Here we go. This is Auntie Sue and Uncle Fred on their wedding day.
yeah, that's the memory I have though. Exactly.
Off on the motorcycle.
And then we went to that weird ice cream place on the side of the road and watched fireworks.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a weird King Cone. It wasn't a weird ice cream place.
Sure.
King Cone. The top left picture here is Uncle Fred with one of his very dearest friends. His name is Dennis Richards. Fran and Dennis Richards are very close friends with Sue and Fred. The bottom left picture is, of course, Uncle Fred's joy forever, Taya, his grandchild, Stacy's little girl, she's pretty close to Kenzie's age, I believe, right now. And then, of course, you're on the right, you have him with his two beautiful daughters, Alia and Stacy.
The photo with Taya reminds me of going up there when we were young and I think we made pizzas at the Donut Depot. It was a donut shop, but we made pizzas for some reason.
Donuts too. Yeah.
We made donuts too. And I remember they had the train that went across the top.
Auntie Sue and Uncle Fred met at the Donut Depot. Uncle Fred owned the Donut Depot, and he supplied not only donuts in the donut shop, he was the most amazing baker. He made me whoopie pies last time we were up there. And Auntie Sue got a job as a waitress with him, and that's how they met. And I know that one trip here, they had won free airline ticket the year before. So Sue brought all the kids back here with a couple of Stephen and Robin's friends, and they spent the week, and all of you had chicken pox that week. And Kimberly would bathe you all and take care of you all. And Auntie Sue used to stay up really late, and she used to want me to go to bed so she could call Fred.
She'd sneak out to the kitchen.
Yeah, they were just getting to know each other. They'd talk all night. So when Papa died, we all went up there. You all were pretty young. It was in 1991. Fred still owned the Donut Depot. So one night after all the ceremonial parts were done, he brought us all down to the donut shop, and he let you all make your own pizza. But he also had a whole bunch of filled donuts made, but were not filled yet. And I can remember you all going and squirting the donuts into things to make whatever kind you needed. You'd go along. And I mean, some of those donuts were like so fat with cream.
We made such a mess.
The fun part about I mean, I'm talking, this was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Total mess of his shop.
And he loved every minute of it.
And we had powdered sugar everywhere. And
the sugar's the thing I remember, is sugar everywhere.
We had it everywhere.
And he didn't care. He loved every single minute of it.
Yep. That was my favorite thing, is that he wouldn't care. Like, if there was something interesting, he'd go for it. There's a picture in here where he's standing on this sign. The sign says, "Keep off the rocks, they're slippery." You know, yeah, that's at the Flume. And you know he instigated that. Like, that was his idea.
Yeah.
I want to talk about instigation. So in North Carolina a couple of years ago, the guys all wanted to go to a Fort Macon out there. And Dad and Uncle Chris and Julio and Uncle Fred, and of course I wanted to go because it's history, and of course I want to go. So we're wandering around and we're having a good time, and we go into this one room, and it is a giant bakery oven. So Uncle Fred says, he always called me Mish. I bet you can fit in that. And I'm like, game on, let's do it. So he had Uncle Chris pick me up. I end up going in the oven, a bakery oven, and then he shuts the door on me.
That sounds right.
I mean, you let me back out, but then he shuts the door on me. They had to take pictures of it.
Not in a million years would he never let anything happen to any one of you, though. Not in a million.
Well, that was the same trip that he came up to me, and you guys know how he would always come up to you and he'd just like grab your shoulder, and he told me he was proud of me.
Remember?
Out of the blue, for no reason. We were just hanging out, having dinner, and he told me he was proud of me. And he would always tell you he loved you and always tell you how he felt about you, but it was unusual for him to say that he was proud of me. And we talked about history and treasure hunting, and I'm so mad at him because he should have stuck around till we figured out what was in the bottom of stupid Oak Island, because he's the only one that would talk about Oak Island with me.
Well, honey, I'm sorry, but he knows now.
I know, and I still don't.
I do have a little funny story is when Papa died also, you think about going to the donut shop, and at the time Auntie Sue and Uncle Fred had this huge dining room, and well, they still have it, but at the time they had stairs that went down into the den where the pool table was. I don't know how old Lisa was, but it was 1991. And all of us are sitting around the table. And I mean, Papa had 9 sisters. So there were all these aunts and they all loved Susan and they were sitting at the table. And all of a sudden you hear, "Barr." And everyone looks at Barbara and thinks, Barbara. All of a sudden you hear this little tiny voice from the basement say, "Excuse me." Never lived down with Uncle Fred. Never. Not in a million years. He was a good man. He was a pain in the ass to Auntie Sue, and she loved him every single day. You guys know that Uncle Fred said, "I love you" to Auntie Sue every single day of his life. Never a day that he didn't say, "I love you." Do you want to let the girls come in and say hello real quick, or hang up, show Kenzie?
They're having their own memorial service.
Oh, that's so sweet. Can you
That's
James
really
and
sweet.
Rylan and Kenzie and Ken are on FaceTime together in the other room.
Oh, they really?
That's so sweet. Hi, girls. Do you want to show the picture you made, Uncle Fred? Do you all remember meeting Auntie Stacy down at the aquarium when you were little? And her little girl, Taya? Do you remember that? Kenzie, you and Taya became best friends the minute you met. And you walked all around the aquarium and we had dinner. And that's Uncle
She was
Fred's,
kinda- yeah.
you were little. And that's Uncle Fred's granddaughter, Taya. She's missing her grandpa. Missing her papa really bad. It's just us. Thank you for making that beautiful picture. Dad, do you have a memory of Fred?
Yeah, I got tons of them on my page.
Well, come on down, Mohawk man.
I remember when Uncle Fred was in town, one was to go to this train museum. The other was to go see the house I got downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And no, without a single moment of hesitation, driving an hour away in both instances, I would just mention it and he'd say, "Well, let's just go. Let's just go." And we jump in the car. It was just me and him both times. And we jumped in the car and just went. And I remember they had this kid railroad at the train museum and it was closed. And he was just like, "Well, let's just go look at it." So we jumped over the fence and went and looked at it. And then there's a bunch of abandoned train cars on train tracks behind that. So we climbed up in them. And it's, of course, he just takes the "don't enter" sign away so that you can walk right through. And we walked through every single train without hesitation. And then when he came to see, I was so excited that, you know, I had a place in Atlanta since I had moved back, and you know, it was a good ways away, and without a single moment of hesitation, we jumped in the car and he went to come see it because it was this old historic place, you know, it was this cool place. And I just was proud of it. And he could see, I think he came not because of what it was, but because he was just proud, you know, like Michelle said, he would show you that he was proud or say it, and you would feel it. You wouldn't hear it, you'd feel it, and that was really cool.
That's so perfect. Yes. How about
Yeah.
the time that he got to Auntie Sue and him got to see Moxie?
An old train depot,
Yeah.
and he and I walked around I saw more of that building, which I worked past tense in every day. I saw more of that building with him than I ever did working there for 4 years, He
didn't even want to go to dinner. He just wanted to keep looking.
and knew about it was the crazy thing, It's an old like roundhouse, so he knew about what it was, and that was just really special. And they came all the way, again, a long drive, just to come see something special, and it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
He would always go out of his way to make you feel special.
For all of Uncle Fred's gruff exterior, what he put out was gruff. But that man was nothing but pure heart.
They're just the best. He was a special man. He was a light in our lives. He really was.
Absolutely.
Could I just do one more thing? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. No.
May I say the Our Father? Uncle Fred's in heaven right now. He'll watch over you all forever and ever. I have no doubt in my mind. And then one day we'll meet again. I promise you all. You'll get to see him again. So bear with Mom while I finish with Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be
Thy
done.
will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Oh, sorry. I was saying it and I unmuted me.
No, sorry. On earth.
That was perfect.
Let's do it again, Lynn. Uncle Fred would think this is funny. Let's do it again. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, will be
Thy
done.
will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen. We will miss
Amen.
you, Uncle Fred. Till we meet again.